Someone wrote to us after our last video, The Man in the Van. He said, I saw the man in the van, I recognized him. Then he said something I haven't been able to stop thinking about. He said, what now? It's not enough. And he's right, it isn't. Seeing yourself clearly is not the same as changing anything. And for a long time, I thought that seeing was enough. I thought recognizing was the work. It's not. Here's what I know from 32 years on stages where there was nowhere to hide. You can name a problem with perfect precision and still be completely alone inside of it. Naming it doesn't move it.
When someone says, I see it, but I don't know what to do with it, that's not weakness. That's actually the hardest place to be, because recognition without a path forward isn't healing. It's just one more awareness of the pain. Here's what's happening in your brain when you get into that place. Your default mode network, the part of your brain that's active when you're not focused on a task, when you're driving in silence, when you're lying awake at 2 a.m., that network is where your sense of self lives. And here's the part that changes everything once you know about it. Your brain can't fully distinguish between what actually happened and what you vividly imagine or repeatedly tell yourself, which means the story you have been telling yourself about who you are, the one you told yourself in that van, the one you retell every time you replay the failure, the story is not just a memory. It's a training program. And you've been training a version of yourself into existence. Every replay, every retell, every time you ran that tape.
I ran the tape from that bad English audition for years. Not consciously, just there it was. The sound of the metronome sliding across the stage, Jonathan Caine's face, walking out to the van, and every time I ran it, I wasn't just remembering it, I was re-experiencing it. My nervous system didn't know the difference between 1987 and right now. What I didn't know then, and what I wish someone had told me, is that the same mechanism that runs the failure tape can run a different tape. The brain that trained itself on what went wrong can retrain itself on what's true now. Not what feels true right now, what is actually true.
That's exactly right. And Yale researchers found negativity bias in infants as young as 3 months old. That's not your personality, it's hardware. Your brain has evolved to notice what's wrong way before it notices what's right. Because 10,000 years ago, the ancestor who spotted the threat survived. The one who noticed the beautiful sunset sometimes didn't. You inherited that threat scanner. Now, without any actual threats, it's scanning you. Every self-critical thought hits your brain with roughly twice the neural weight of every self-affirming one. That's not a metaphor. That's what neuroimaging shows in the amygdala activation patterns. Dr. John Gottman spent 40 years studying what makes relationships survive. He found that stable relationships require at least 5 positive interactions to counterbalance every negative one. That same math applies to how you talk to yourself, and some researchers feel that it's a 20-to-1 ratio. Now, if you're running 10 failure tapes for every one moment you let yourself see what you actually did right, the math of your inner life is not sustainable. And the man in the van has been doing that math alone for a very long time.
So here's what I actually did. Not the vow I made the morning after. Fix the timing, convert the nerves. I talked about that. I mean later, much later. When I finally stopped running the old tape, I started replacing what I rehearsed. Not pretending the audition didn't happen. Not forcing positivity over something real. Deliberately, on purpose, rehearsing what was also true. That I got back in the room. That I kept playing. That 32 years later, I was playing for 1 billion people. The failure was real, and so was everything that came after it. I had been rehearsing one and ignoring the other.
And Dr. Martin Seligman at the University of Pennsylvania developed one of the most replicated practices in positive psychology: 3 good things. Once a day, at the end of the day, And here's how I want you to use it specifically, because generic gratitude lists don't touch what the man in the van is actually carrying. Don't write 3 good things that happened to you. Write 3 specific things about who you were today. What did you do? How you show up? Who you helped? What you tried? What you got right? Not, I had a good day. Something like, I made a decision at work I was proud of. Or, I sat with someone who needed me and I actually stayed present. Or, I kept going when I wanted to stop. Be specific, concrete, vivid, and feel what that feels like. Do that for 2 weeks. The neuroscience is unambiguous. The measure markers on well-being, resilience, and the ability to access your best self start to shift. Not because you're pretending the van didn't happen, because you're finally letting your brain rehearse what it was wired to skip.
To the man who wrote to us, you did the hardest part. You looked. And here's what I want you to know. The seeing is not enough. You were right, but it is the beginning. And the beginning matters more than you think, because more people never get there. You did. Now retrain the tape. Not the version of you that sat in the van, the version that drove home anyway. Make the vows anyway. Keep going anyway. That man is also true. He's been true this whole time, so start rehearsing him.
And you have permission to see yourself accurately. Not generously, not brutally, accurately. The good was there this morning. Your brain just wasn't trained to find it yet. And that's what we're here to change.